been able to sink in now? I mean, what you guys went through last year to be able to turn that around in your senior year and be in this position to possibly play for a national title?
It's a pretty incredible feeling, you know. You do a lot of reflection. Leading up to the game, I think I did some reflection on my own, and we even talked as a team a little bit, just having some perspective of what we went through to get to where we are. And it was not an easy road by any stretch of the imagination. You know, it really was very difficult, and it didn't always go well. But we responded, and we bounced back every time something didn't go our way, and that's what has made it so sweet, you know. But when we scored that last touchdown to sort of that officially, like it sort of felt like, okay, it's over. That was a pretty special feeling, and it sort of started to really hit me and really got me pretty emotional, you know. And but at the same time, we're also very aware we're not done yet, and that we got other goals out in front of us. And that was the first goal. It's sort of like we talked about having a singular focus. The first goal was the Big 12 championship, but now it's a new season, and there's another goal out there.
Hey, Todd, as you think about the way the offensive line has evolved these last 9 games, what do you credit for sort of making you guys have this upswing that you've had since that Texas game?
Well, first of all, Coach Biedenbow, you know, I think he's the best offensive line coach in the country. You know, he pushes us hard. And sometimes when you first get here and you first start experiencing them, you don't really understand that, and you get frustrated at times. But as I've been here, and I've been here a while now, gotten to sort of see how he does it and understood sort of the method to what he's doing. He's incredible in what he does, and he pushed us to get to this point, and because he doesn't accept anything less than excellence in his offensive line. And then after that, I think it comes down to individual guys taking it upon themselves to not be the weak link, to raise their level of play so that we could be the team that we were capable of being. That was what we said. I've told you all year. What we said after that Texas game is what we did put on the field that day wasn't acceptable for us, and that we resolved ourselves that we were not ever going to let that happen again. And it's a pride thing. And I think that we took a lot of pride in the way we played, not just as individuals but as a unit. And the product that we were putting on the field and what we needed to be for our team to be Big 12 champions and beyond. And we were able to do that. We were able to improve, but if we want to win the next one, we got to continue to improve during these next 30 days or so before we get a chance to play again.
So these last few games were crucial to get you guys in the playoffs. But how important were those first, say, 3 to 4 games after the Texas game, just to reestablish things and get you guys going in the right direction?
I think those are so overlooked, the impact that those had on us, because that was where we set a tone, that we set sort of a mentality for this team, that we went into K-State after that Texas game and we came out our hair on fire, ready to play, ready to make someone else pay for what we had done the previous week, you know? And sort of from there on, we sort of had this mentality that wherever we go, we're going to have a great time, we're going to play with a lot of energy, and we're going to play angry, pissed-off football. And whether it's in Manhattan, Kansas, or in Lawrence, Kansas, or right here in Norman, or wherever we go, it doesn't matter if we're playing Baylor and on game day or in Stillwater in front of so many fans, wherever we go, we're going to play with that same mentality wherever it was. And then we sort of established that in those games and then carried that forward into the last couple.
I remember coming out of that Tennessee game, you got hurt pretty bad. You got rolled up on from behind. You look at that period from that game to the Texas game, how much really behind-the-scenes struggling was there going on with you guys trying to overcome some of that? Young guys, you being hurt?
I think some of it, there definitely was some. Because me and Neela both, really struggled to stay in that game and didn't play in the following game. So and then there were different re-aggravations at different points and all that stuff. But that's life and that's football, you know. We had to gut it out for our teammates and everything. And but at the same time, I think that was a crucial developmental period for the rest of the line to learn how to function without me and Neela out there every single play. To learn how to sort of have a better grasp of the concepts of the offense, where I couldn't tell guys everything that was going on, where guys like John, guys like Orlando, they really sort of had to step up in the mental capacity and sort of step their game up as we were not able to play for that short amount of time.
Was that Texas game then kind of the ultimate wake-up call for you guys as a unit?
Oh, absolutely so, you know. What we did that game wasn't acceptable by our standards, by anybody's standards. It wasn't what Oklahoma offensive linemen put on the tape. And it was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. And like I said, that's just something that we resolved personally. We're never again. Not going to ever happen again.
You said after Texas that you guys can't accept slow progression. Have you guys progressed, do you think, as a line like you wanted to at this point?
I mean, I think I'm definitely proud of the progression. I can never say I'm satisfied with it because that would mean that like I'm satisfied with where we are. I'm definitely not. We've gotten better, and I'm so proud of the way that not just that we have gotten better, but with the mentality that guys have approached every week with to get better. You know, the preparation off the field that it takes, the aggression, the mentality that it takes during games to get better. You know, guys have really put in the time, and we have improved dramatically, I think, but we're not where we can be yet. We still, I'm telling you, as a team, we have not played our best football. We could have played a lot better the other night in some different ways. So I'm still waiting for us to play our best game. So, yeah.
Think back to your freshman year against Baylor when you had that game and how much you've grown as a player, and then you look at your two freshman tackles. Is just talk about how much their potential is in front of them and how much potential they have.
Oh man, they're going to be way better than I am. Way better than I am. They're going to be two of the best ones we've ever put out, and that's saying something for a place like Oklahoma. We have guys like Trent Williams, Donald Stevenson, and Jamal Brown. Those type of guys. They're going to be very special, and I'm proud of the way they developed this far. And I'll be looking forward to watching them sort of. First of all, step into more of a leadership role as they get older, and to see the players they develop into after I'm long gone.
Their progression, has it been more of a technical thing with just playing more football, or has there been a mental switch they got clicked?
There's a little bit of everything. You know, they've gotten better technically throughout the year. Both of them have. They've had a better understanding of football and what's happening as just with experience. That sort of happens, and things slowing down a little bit for them, seeing things better, reacting to different things the defense does better, and having composure, and also just having that playing with composure and mentality as far as just being aggressive and finding the line between overly aggressive at the same time. So they've progressed in every way.
How big is it for the team to know that you have a left tackle like Orlando that can? I mean, he made the big seal block on Piron's run, and then he also shut down Agba. I mean, how big is it to have a left tackle that can do both of those things?
Oh, it's huge. You know, when you have that type of confidence, I mean, no matter who we play, I know that on these different teams there are some real good pass rushers, some real good defenses. I mean, we've played some very good, highly rated pass rushers. Particularly, Orlando has played on his side, played two of the most highly rated guys in the whole country. So that if he doesn't have confidence now, I mean, I don't know what else he could do to gain it because he's earned it. You know, so I think that we'll be confident whoever we play that we have an O-line, we have a guy at left tackle that can compete with anybody.
When you break it down, and have you had a chance to break it down at how those guys did against Agba in that game?
I thought really pretty well. He had the one sack, but I mean, it should never have been a sack. It was actually something. Neela hit. I was on a guy. Neela hit my guy into John's legs, and John got knocked off by the guy falling to his knees. If that guy doesn't fall to his knees, I don't think that Og was coming off that block either. So it is what it is, though. We got to take responsibility for it. But I thought for the most part, it looked like we did a pretty dang good job on him.
What pride does the offensive line take, knowing that Samaje has 3,000 rushing yards in only 2 seasons?
That's pretty awesome. You know, I heard somebody say that yesterday, and proud of him. I'm proud of him because you see some of those runs the other night. I mean, the second touchdown run. I mean, he ran straight through a guy that we didn't have blocked. I would like to know how many of those yards are after contact. I think it's a lot. But yeah, proud of him, but proud of the line, and especially because it's almost two completely different lines. I mean, if you're talking 10 starters, and of those 3,000 yards, we've probably had close to 15 different guys start on those lines. So, and I think that's probably pretty exceptional.
Talking about Drew, talking about your freshman tackles, but Drew specifically being a true freshman. I mean, I'm sure his size is part of why he's able to play, but is there something about him or his mentality that has enabled him? I mean, you know how tough it is as even an older guy to play that offensive line for him to be a true freshman.
And he's not the biggest guy. He only weighs about 280, 285. He's going to be when he's 305, 310 after Smitty gets a hold of him for a full off season, it's going to be something else. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's not the physical development with most guys. Most guys come in pretty big and strong. They're big guys, that's the type of guys you recruit. It's the mental side of it. That when he came in, the first offensive line formations test that we did in the summer, he got every single formation right. And he didn't just write where the receivers were with circles. He wrote the X, Y, Z, where everyone was. That he took it seriously. That he came in with a mentality that, he almost takes it too seriously sometimes, but I think he beats himself up over it, where he obsesses up in his dorm room late nights watching film of himself over and over. But that's what it takes to be great, and he's going to find the balance in it in due time. But he came in not content to redshirt, not content to be a role player. He wanted to come in right away and be exceptional. And I think that mentality is what has allowed him to have success.
You've been a guy that's a leader, and people will follow you. But I'm curious, it seems like Baker is a guy that not just is he a leader, people gravitate toward him. He kind of has a magnetism. Is that kind of how he is?
Absolutely. He's one of the most infectious personalities I think I've ever been around. He's an exceptional guy. It's his energy. It's the passion he plays the game with, and he's so incredibly genuine. That whether it's good or bad, whatever he's going to say or do, whether you like it or not, it's going to be 100% genuine. And when he gets fired up for other guys scoring touchdowns, when he does his crazy celebrations and dances and all that stuff, that's coming from who he actually is. It's not in any way a ploy for you guys or for people watching on TV. He's just out there having fun playing the game. And I think that we love that about him as teammates.
Guys in the past have gotten to play with the Sam Bradford or Adrian Peterson. Are you going to be glad to say you played with a guy like Baker Mayfield someday, a Heisman candidate, a guy? I can't imagine what it's like if you go, walking through a store with him or something.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird for me because I've had it on both sides because I'm close with him and I'm close with Trevor too. And so I was around Trevor after the Sugar Bowl a couple years ago and it was excessive. And now I'm around Baker all the time, and it's just so funny to me because Baker's just he's such a little kid. He's like all these people take such notice to him and clamor to him and everything. I actually sort of was thinking about that though. That last night he was at my house last night. We were playing Halo with him. And I was getting really mad at him, and he was talking trash to me and everything. And I sort of thought for a second like this guy this is a guy like people are gonna people think it's cool that I know this guy. What? But. Yeah, anyways.
With Bedlam being such a heated rivalry, all the hype that went into this game, was it a bit surreal how you guys just took care of business and won by 58-23? Whatever?
Yes and no. When we step on the field, we're trying to win, but we're trying to dominate, and we expect to dominate. We believe that when we play to our capability, we're capable of dominating. That winning, we're not holding on to survive, and hopefully we can pull it out at the end. We think that every time we take the field, that we have the capability of scoring touchdowns, and that whenever our defense goes on the field, they're going to make plays and they can get stopped. So. Yeah, it's pretty awesome that it was not the closest game that we ever were able to pull away. But at the same time, I know I was upset with ourselves at halftime and in parts of the second half that we hadn't scored more points and we hadn't held them less points because we gave them some stuff on both sides of the ball.
You were a part of a line last year that was considered one of the best in the country, but with the growth that you've seen this year and your role as a leader, do you take more pride in the effort this year? How do you kind of compare the two in that sense?
They're different, and that's a very good question. I really haven't thought about that. I take pride in both because last year's line was almost professional, a lot of experience, a lot of guys that really knew what they were doing, a lot of really good football players, and we were definitely one group, and we were a pretty dominant group, and it was a point of pride for me to be a part of that, to be a part of a line where you can put as many guys as you want in the box and we're going to move people and create stuff and everything. But at the same time, I don't know if you could ever top the feeling I have for this line because of the improvement. Because the improvement goes so far past Texas, so far beyond that. It goes back to doing up-downs in the indoor in January for a guy being late to a workout, to getting kicked out for somebody dropping a med ball in the summer. It's so much more than what people see, the development of this group. We didn't even know what it meant to be exceptional, what it meant to be champions, to be a championship O-line last year in January, and now we've gotten a taste of it, and we have a chance to make our mark in an even bigger way.
Two national semifinals, one's in your home state of Florida, the other one's 3 hours to the south of your school. Do you have a preference on where you guys land?
Not really. I mean, we obviously played in the Cotton Bowl my freshman year, so I have that experience and everything. I've never played in Miami. I've obviously been to Miami and all that. So I mean, if it was in Miami, I would be able to have some family come to the game a little earlier. I know that my Oklahoma family's already booked some stuff in Dallas just in case. So either way, hopefully I'll have some family there in some capacity. But as far as the venue goes, don't think I have much of a preference. Miami is humid though. So I don't know, that actually is, it takes your body, it takes an effect on your body, but.
Is it satisfying to know you guys have earned the respect? There's no politicking this week about why OU should be in the playoff. Everyone feels you guys should be in it, that you've made your statement this year. I
think there is a satisfying fact to that. I don't think it should be much of a debate. I think that we've handled our business. And the last 3 games, which were all big time, national TV, prime time. Games against exceptional opponents. We played pretty well over the course, and we handled most of those games, with maybe the exception of some of that fourth quarter against TCU, but. But even in that game, I think that you could say that in every game we've controlled most of the game, and we missed some opportunities to widen the margin even a little bit more. So that's why I say I think we haven't played our best ball yet.
Do you want Baker to keep his Fu Manchu?
Oh, absolutely. All 3 of them. I was so disappointed. Well, Cody was the last one standing. I got to the basketball game yesterday, and Baker's was gone. He said he had a family picture or something. He's calling out Riley for not doing it. How about him wimping out like less than 12 hours after the final whistle, shaving it, and then Trev shaved it too. So I didn't think Trev was going to make it to the game. He's too much of a pretty boy. I know he's around here somewhere, but. Yeah, but I was disappointed that they didn't keep him. I thought it was a good look. I thought it was good mojo.
You've got 2 potentially big games ahead of you, but where does that Bedlam game rank for you in terms of your career?
Satisfying, very satisfying. But at the same time, I don't know, from a just sheer excitement, exhilaration standpoint, the last 3 were a lot closer games, but the end feeling of being Big 12 champs doesn't compare to anything that I've been around here. And this season has produced some incredible feelings, some incredible moments. From Tennessee, Tennessee was probably the most exhilarating sporting event I've ever been a part of. That was incredible. And then Baylor was going on the road against them. Was pretty satisfying. And then this one was obviously in a different way, very, very, very satisfying. So they're all different, but I've enjoyed them.
How crazy is that bus ride home?
It was somewhat crazy, but not like it wasn't like, I don't know. Everybody sort of mellowed out after a little bit, but it was fun. The locker room celebration carried on for quite some time. I came and did media with you guys while I was still dressed, and then I got back inside and there were no cutters, so I rode home with my ankles and knees still taped. That was sort of uncomfortable, but it is what it is.
How Tennessee was? Did Waco or Stillwater, did they compare to that noise level?
Absolutely not. Not even close. Nothing I've ever experienced, I think, or ever will experience will compare to Tennessee. And, man, people don't look past the fact Tennessee, is about 12 plays away from being undefeated or one loss, if you could say, if they would pull out some games, that'd be another very, very quality road win for us, but it still is a quality road win.
Does it kind of remind you of last year when you guys were so close to being at that level, to being a few points away?
Yeah, we've been on the other side of that. Besides, obviously the Clemson and Baylor games were not couple play games, but those other games were one play either way, and we can take it out. So I definitely sympathize with that, and know some of those guys. So yeah, they're a quality team though. They really are, and they gave us everything that we could handle.
Yeah, there's a chance your only other team that beat you last year, you could end up playing them. Are you aware of that, Clemson?
I am aware of that. I am, very much so. But we'll see. We'll take whoever we can get.
Just talking about the transformation you guys have gone on since Texas. How much of that is did you take it as a sort of a trust in your line. You've done so much more to the running game since Texas. Samaji, I think, had 10 carries against Texas.
60 yards or something.
Yeah, and he hasn't. You've used him a lot more since that. How much do you guys take as trust in your line?
I would like to think that we've earned some trust and some respect over the last however many weeks that's been. I think it's been the improvement, and part of it is the fact that we've done it in practice. You earn that trust and that respect from the coaches, that the confidence of putting the ball on the ground like that through the way that we've played in practice and the way we've progressed against our own defense. And our own defense, I think, is the best in the conference. And when you're playing those guys every day, it gets you better quickly. So.